Let's start by explaining what it means to separate the forearm and upper arm. Let's take a look at these two shots. The first, the second. Why is the power generation in the second example more focused than the first? If I open my arm, do you feel the power penetrates the blade? Can you hear the sound? It's because the forearm and upper arm are completely separated. Why are we discussing this? Because many players have never experienced the feeling of hitting through the blade. Even when using top-tier equipment like a Viscaria Super ALC, Zhongjike ALC, or expensive custom blades, they still fail to get that blade penetration. So what causes this lack of penetration? Many players ask, "Coach, didn't you say to open the arm to hit through the blade?" Opening your arm doesn't necessarily mean keeping it far from your body. Even if my arm is very close to my body, as long as I separate my forearm and upper arm, it's still considered opening the arm. It does not mean your arm has to be far from your body to be considered open. It's not about the distance from your body, simply creating this angle between the forearm and upper arm counts as separation. For example, against backspin, creating this angle to brush the ball also counts as opening the arm. As long as you create some separation and then accelerate through contact, the quality of your shot will improve significantly. It's not about how far you extend horizontally. This is also considered opening the forearm. Even when close to the body, this is also opening the forearm. Next, let's talk about the direction of force. In a forehand drive, from the backswing to the point of contact, I am focused on driving forward. The final part of my arm follow-through only happens after about 70% of the forward motion is complete. You don't just snap your arm from the starting position. The same applies to backspin balls. I don't just lift the ball. I have to drive forward through it, and then finish the stroke. Therefore, our primary direction of force must be forward. So how do we develop this forward awareness? It absolutely depends on your body. This type of motion is a push. But with the same movement, this is called meeting the ball in front. The same principle applies to the backhand. For backspin, if you only try to lift the ball, it's easy to hit the net. You must have a forward direction of force. Whether it's a backspin, topspin, push, or flick, even on defense, you must meet the ball in front. Against long pips, when you loop and hit the net repeatedly, it's because your arm isn't driving forward enough. So, to play table tennis well, understanding the direction of force is crucial. In my opinion, there is never a purely upward motion in forehand or backhand, not even for a high, loopy topspin. A loop drive has more forward motion, while a high loop has slightly less. But the fundamental direction of force for both is identical. You must always apply force forwards and upwards, not just upwards. So understand this, why do many people miss their pushes? It's because there's no forward motion. We need to complete the entire stroke. When you send the ball forward, it's much less likely to hit the net. Third, I want to talk about the backswing. The backswing is something I emphasize heavily in my coaching system. The initial preparation is vital. This initial preparation is extremely important. Because with a high backswing against backspin, I'll likely loop into the net. But if I drop my racket lower, even a light touch will get the ball over. Now, let's break down the backswing. For a standard drive, the backswing is generally straight back, positioning the racket behind the ball. For a topspin ball, the distance between my racket and the ball should be about one hand's width. This is for topspin. Many people fail to loop topspin because their backswing is too low. So, against topspin, your backswing cannot be too low. If it's too low, the opponent's spin will cause your shot to go long. For a drive, be behind the ball. For a loop, leave about a racket's distance. If the ball is here, my racket is here. You track it. This is for looping. For a backspin ball, leave the distance of your forearm. For instance, if the ball is here, my forearm should be here. If the ball is here, then I adjust to here. Maintaining a forearm's distance is just right. Why do you miss high balls? Because a high push still has spin, yet you meet it at the same height and hit down, which will naturally cause an error. So, you can be slightly lower than the ball and hit forward. This will give you excellent control over the ball's trajectory. A common problem for players is judging the correct distance from the ball. They meet backspin balls at the same height. And they take topspin balls with their racket too low. This leads to hitting topspin balls long and netting backspin balls. Now let's discuss the backswing's depth. Do not let your backswing get too far from your body. Why? Because the farther you are from your body, the more inconsistencies will appear in your power generation. So, remember this during your backswing. When the ball is fast, use a compact backswing. When the ball is slow, if you're close to the table, still use a compact backswing. From mid-distance, use a slightly larger backswing. As you move farther back, increase it proportionally. Your position dictates the size of your backswing, don't make it too large. The more you are moving your feet, the smaller your backswing should be. For example, when the ball speed is very high and I have to move, if I take a big backswing, I won't be on time. The more footwork, the less backswing. So, when exactly should you take your backswing? As the opponent serves, do I start my backswing immediately? During the ball's flight? Or after it bounces on my side? In my experience, you should initiate the backswing mid-flight. If you start your backswing the moment they contact the ball, you'll rush your timing. You must read the ball clearly and begin your backswing when the ball is mid-flight over the net. As they contact, you start. This timing is perfect and gives you plenty of time. Now, let's talk about footwork. When you need to move, if you can't judge the ball mid-flight and wait for the bounce to start your swing, you'll be off balance and out of sync. If you don't start moving your feet, anticipating, and adjusting mid-flight, you will almost always be out of sync. Therefore, you must start moving your feet as the ball is in mid-flight after your opponent's contact. For example, as the ball leaves the racket, it's in flight, and the player starts tracking it. Track, track, bounce, hit. If, instead, you stay still after the bounce and only start moving right before contact, you'll get jammed. If you want to activate your footwork, you must first improve your anticipation. Quicken your anticipation, and your feet will have time to move. If your feet have time, your stroke mechanics will remain solid. We can't be like most amateur players who only focus on the ball once it's on their side of the table. Don't focus on yourself. Focus on your opponent's contact. That's the #1 priority. After contact, watch the ball's trajectory. Is it high or low? Is it long? Is it wide, or is it curving? You have to watch it closely. When you focus your attention on anticipation and the ball's flight path, your footwork will become much smoother. Your reaction will be quicker, and when your reaction is quick, the chance of your technique breaking down becomes smaller. Let's move on to the fourth point, brushing the ball. Let's talk about this rolling the ball drill. Why do so many people struggle with it? Because this drill magnifies your stroke mechanics. First, it's your habit of hitting straight through the ball. This drill clearly magnifies that issue because you're hitting forward without creating the brushing arc necessary for spin. Second, why do we miss? It's because you aren't brushing into the ball. You aren't making solid contact while brushing, so you whiff. When you try to return a backspin serve like this, the contact won't be solid. The brush is not solid. When some players try to loop, their whole motion tends to go upward, which often results in the ball going long. Now, the tip of our racket should be pointing towards the cross-court angle. Point your wrist there, point your forearm there. During the backswing, as you rotate your wrist, let the racket head rotate. Go from a neutral wrist position with the racket face forward, to rotating it towards the cross-court angle. But this rotation is not a simple forward-back motion, it comes from the wrist itself. See how I'm pointing cross-court? Now I'll add some body rotation. First, amateurs tend to loop upwards or to the left. When you learn this rotation, you will start hitting more forward. Because you won't go sideways then forward. You will naturally drive forward through the ball, and you'll start meeting it in front. Second, it's about the feeling of wrapping the ball. When we say wrap, you might mistakenly do it by lifting your elbow or flipping your wrist. What does it mean to wrap the ball? Pointing the racket head cross-court. This is how you wrap the ball. By adding my body, I can wrap the ball for a power loop. I've noticed that all players with great loops have a very precise racket head orientation. So we can start by practicing this. In the backswing, point the racket head cross-court. Engage the forearm, then the upper arm. By doing this, you will fully utilize the entire looping arc in your stroke. Join our membership to unlock daily exclusive shorts, and discover the coach's secret tips and tricks on table tennis technique. You'll also get our weekly on-court coaching series. Silver members get even more and also unlock the exclusive weekly Coach's Corner series. Thank you for supporting the channel's growth.